you. That's my boss.
I wish.
Hi.
Oh, it is. Oh my
I'm good.
God, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let me move this back a little bit so that you guys can see my full face.
Abby,
Perfect, perfect. Chelsea, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay, let's get right into this conversation. This
Like
is
already.
this is a conversation that I think needs to be had because, um, first of all, well done on all the videos you've been putting out on your YouTube about, you know, the realness and the real everything that happens with relocating, having children, and navigating life. I mean, you have been in the UK for a while. You came back to Nigeria for a little bit just for work and stuff, and then you went back, right? And so your kids are a little bit older now. I mean, they're still. I mean, Tisha is even like, I think he's like 4 or
Yeah.
so, right? So he's still young, right? So I mean, I feel like a lot of people have a fairy tale. So let's start from the beginning. When people think about moving abroad, right, relocating. Now, let me just say this, just for a disclaimer. This is not to make anybody look bad or to say that going abroad is a no-no and you shouldn't
Of
go, you should
course
stay in
not.
Nigeria and die in
Of
your
course
country and
not.
protect your country. No. Everybody has
Exactly.
their own purpose and everybody has what they want to do with their life.
Their
Right?
life, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a conversation that we want to have to open your mind to the things that you might face when
Yeah, so
you
that you
act
can kind of
outside.
like create a shock absorber.
Yes, soft
Because this,
landing
I
in
mean,
terms of expectations.
exactly. That's it, exactly. We're not saying don't travel. We're not saying
Yes,
it's the wrong decision. We're not saying it's the right decision. Like you said before now, it also just depends on the season of your life. It depends on, what's happening in the world. Because things that were favorable last year, Bumi, they are no longer favorable now because of what we've
look at
experienced
what
this
happened to
year.
us this year. Look at what happened to
Exactly.
us this year.
Exactly.
You know,
So,
I want us
so
to have that premise. Everybody know that
exactly.
it's
So
not like we are
it's
saying,
a basis.
don't travel.
Right. We're just sharing our own experience,
Yes.
on like unfiltered. Because the truth is, there is more good out there that people talk about it than the downside. And honestly, the downside, if you're not prepared for it, Bumi, is like,
It's a rude awakening. It's a slap in your
oh
face.
my God, it
It's
is
a slap in
such a
your face.
rude awakening.
Yeah.
It's a rude
So
awakening.
so
And if
let's
you're not careful, handling it also is another thing. Because you're not prepared, you literally will sink in. And imagine sinking in and not being able to find yourself because you don't even have the right support system. So we are literally, by this conversation, we're just saying, here are the possibilities of things that can happen. So prepare your mind such that when these things happen, it's like going into your arsenal and going to bring out a trick because you've already heard this before. So it's not like, your people will say, Koniba hello Gigi. Because I had a lot of Ojiji moments,
what
Bumi,
does
like
that
I
mean?
would just,
Just translate.
as in,
Translate
so
for us.
so it doesn't happen. So you don't. It's still the same thing as rude awakening. So it doesn't just happen suddenly, and you're in the middle of nowhere, wondering how did I even get here?
And it catches you unawares.
Yeah, exactly. Catch you now. Yes,
Right? Okay, so I just wanted to add that this some of the things that we will probably say today might not be everyone's reality as well.
True.
But
True.
I tell you categorically that it is 80% of people's issues that we're going to talk about today. So Chelsea, let's start from the beginning, right? So the mindset that a lot of people have when they're going, I'm going to use Canada because that's where I have
Experience.
and have experience there, and you can talk about the UK, and of course everything kind of mirrors because we have the same sort of thinking and mentality
Systems.
when yes,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
we think the same way when we are relocating. I mean, Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
we have our issues in Nigeria, and so everybody wants a better life for their children, and that's why a lot of people are saying that they want a better life for their children, they want a better life for themselves. Some people just say, I just want to live a normal life. I don't want to be rich or anything. I just want to be
I just
okay.
want to
I
be
want there to be
okay. I
water.
just want to be
I want
okay.
there
If
to
I
be
pay for
water.
light,
I want
let
there
me
to be
see it.
light,
If I pay
electricity.
for water,
I
let
want
me see it.
right. But the thing about it is, let's talk about the fairy tale and the la la land mentality that people have before they leave because of the
Okay.
way the West, or let's just say the West, you know, America,
Abroad,
Canada,
of the way
and
abroad
also
looks or feels.
abroad in general, how they have
Okay.
been, how it has been portrayed to us as a land flowing with milk and honey. So
Honey.
can we talk about the mindset first?
Okay, so Bumi, I'm going to start from the point that at the end of the day, all of it is marketing. The tourism part of all of this country, they are doing an amazing job. Like you said, they've sold it to us. Like everything you want is happening on that side. So it's the same thing when people say the grass is greener on the other side because somebody is watering it, and then the people who are watering it, they are marketing it to you who are on the other side suffering and saying, listen, you need to cross to this side for everything to look quote unquote okay. Now, Bumi, you're in business, you do marketing. You're not going to talk about the bad part of things. If people bring it up, then you address it. But what you're out there to sell is the good side of your business. Nobody's going to go out and say, oh, this my fitness clinic is not working. I don't know if you get what I mean. So that is the mentality. And then the media, big deception about international media. I'm talking about the journals in Nigeria who are people like me, people like you, who have had these experiences. Nobody's asking us questions. Nobody's documenting. Do you know that, Bumi, in the last 2 years have been like, the way people have been leaving Nigeria, this is the time that people who talk about documentary and all these things, this is the time they should start asking people who are already in these places and established to get information so that people, we depend on media to make the right decision. Unfortunately, Nigeria, they're not doing anything. So the people where we're going, they need people to come and build their country. So they will sell it to you as the place to go. Now, you're seeing light, you're seeing water, they're employing doctors, they're getting paid so much money. You're comparing your salary in Lagos to what somebody is being paid in America, what somebody is being paid in the UK. And then you're like, you know what am I even doing here? At the end of the day, it's the same job. Do you understand? So imagine people, doctors who were on COVID response, they got way more money. And some of them died. It was almost like, take money, this is debt. But you see, people wanted, you want that money because comparing it to what you're being paid in Nigeria, who wants to stay in Nigeria? Where there's no job security, you're your own government, you're doing everything for yourself, right? So the tourism arm of all these countries, they've done their job about putting the right information out there, it's like putting your best foot forward. So that's what we see. And unfortunately, the guys who are on our own end, who are supposed to educate us so that we can make the right decision, because information is what you need to make the right decision. But when you don't have it, what happens? You will just go and say, everybody is going. And then the painful part, Bumi, is that this our Nigerian mentality of not sharing your pitfalls or things that are happening to you is doing everybody a disservice. There's no point in you see, I conquered shame. I conquered, what are you going to think? In my head, for me, it's a kingdom thing to share, because I'm saying to myself, see, if you don't share what is happening with you, somebody else is going to look at you and think everything is okay. They will go and make a big mistake just looking at you. So then you owe God. So you owe God. Because if you're not saying it, they don't know.
True.
You've gone there. You have gone there, then use yourself. It's almost like passing the baton. Give people the audacity to leave by sharing the information. Say, this is how it is. This was what I experienced. Now I've learned to maneuver this way, this way, this way. You help other people. There's no point in, it's a kingdom thing to share. It's kingdom. I'm not here to serve myself. I'm not sharing information to serve myself. I'm sharing it so that another sister will not make a mistake. But when I told you this, I said, we're not aware, but the truth is, these conversations, if people listen carefully and, take away what they need, we will save marriages, we will save relationships, save people's children.
Yes.
Save people's children, because some people get out here, things get really crazy, and then they lose their children, to the system. But when they have the right information, as they're coming, they know what to do. Go on, Bumi, go on.
Let's talk about the conversations. Like, okay, so we'll talk about the single people, because I know a lot of single people are also traveling, but let's talk about the married people, right? So a husband and wife are come together to say, I think this is the way forward for us, for our kids, for our future. Let's just go. Let's make a better life for them. Let's do this and that, right? And then they have no concrete plan. A lot of people travel with no concrete plan. they decide that they're going to move to Canada.
They will wing
right?
it. They want to wing it.
Somehow, something go happen. If we go do am, forget. Shebi na obodo Igbo, they used to give them they give us
Shebi,
free
I be
food.
Nigeria. If I can survive in Nigeria, I will survive there.
Let me tell you something. Suffer in Nigeria and suffer abroad. There are two different types of
There are
suffer.
two different things. And I would rather suffer in Nigeria.
If
Please
you want
quote
to
me
suffer
anywhere.
abroad,
I would rather suffer.
Is a real
I would rather
suffer.
suffer in Nigeria. Bumi, I still told somebody today that if you give me 2 minutes to decide to come back to Nigeria, I'm thriving here. I'm not suffering. I'm thriving. I'm doing amazing. I've been away for over 2 years. My business is flourishing. I'm even like growing tentacles everywhere. But honestly, Bumi, if you give me 2 minutes to think, to decide, seriously, come back to Lagos, I'm not joking. I will leave everything I have here behind. Just grab my children, grab everything that I know that I cannot live without. I'm telling you, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. And that is because while in Nigeria, Bumi, I was doing amazingly well. Now, you said something on Insta story 2 days ago. Now, people don't understand that. Listen, you're going to go and start from square zero. You're going to go and start from literally from the bottom. Now, if you're somebody, you have people who say, oh, if you're somebody who is proud, who's had this life, oh, I'm a baby girl, I'm always decked up, I'm always, looking good and all of that. Then you come here and things are looking crazy. So I have a mentee right now. I mean, I have a permission to share. I won't mention her name, but I have a permission to share. They've just moved here and husband is doing exam to be able to earn the BEMU money, like the big money from the medical field. While they are doing that, they have children. And now he's having to do some, really crazy stuff. Literally, menial jobs. He is not even handling it badly. He understands that, okay, you know what? I signed up for this. But she is the one who was a baby girl. When I say baby girl, hot baby girl in Lagos. Now she's finding it difficult. And then she's struggling because Instagram is also making her life more miserable. She's asking me, Auntie T, did I make a mistake? Like, so I literally left all my enjoyment in Lagos to come and be doing what here? I said, listen, this is how it's going to be at the beginning. While you are doing this, make sure that you are working your plan. Now, they made a mistake. She didn't tell me, sorry, that they were relocating. If she told me, Bumi, I would have every single person living in Nigeria to go anywhere. The first 3 months in that place you're going, chat me the cost. I want to know what you want to be doing every day. The truth is this. When you get there, you might not follow to the letter. Please. You might not follow to the letter. But you have a high chance of keeping your head on your shoulders. I mean, being sane. You have a high chance of being sane because you literally have a blueprint. Even if it doesn't eventually turn blue, at least it gives you, see, every single day you wake up, you look at it, you're like, okay, you have to do this. So you said you're going to be doing this. Oh, you will do this. Bumi, it keeps your mind together. Your mind is not going up and down. Let me tell you the big problem. The moment the wife gets here or the women get here, and for someone like Bumi, you knew me in Lagos. I was a ginger machine, right? You get here, nothing is happening. You guys, by 3 o'clock, everywhere is black. You start losing, stuck, very dark. You begin to lose your mind. Now, there's nothing you're doing. You have no plan, no organization. If you're like me and you are a personal dev junkie, you wake up in the morning, it's almost like your life is just, you're wondering, what am I doing with myself? That's where the problem starts. You start asking yourself, no accountability. Every single day, you cannot explain what it is. Then you now go on the ground. You're going to be seeing your friends that you left in the bank. If I was still in Nigeria and I was in the bank, Bumi, I would have done minimum 10 years, 12 years. And I know how far I would have gone in the bank. So my point is this. Before you leave, plan yourself. See, ignore what you're seeing that people are saying is happening in Canada. In fact, if I were you, I will watch the videos talking about things nobody tells you. The reason why you should not travel. The reason why you should not live. Those are the kind of things that I want to watch. The reason is this. It prepared my mind. So I start to equip myself with knowledge and information about things that will help me to conquer those things. Do I need to quickly do a short course in Nigeria? Do I need to quickly go to somebody who has practical knowledge in these things? Let them quickly teach me. Okay, Bumi, you do this. Can I just quickly spend like an intensive 3 weeks with you? I come in every day. You teach me how to do this. Teach me how to do that. Teach me how to do this. Somebody's asking me why did I left because of my family. I lived here in 2011. Then I went back to Lagos because of work. So I'm actually in and out. I'm in and out of Lagos and the UK now because I have a business in Nigeria and I've left it for about 2 years. But I mean, we're fine. So that's why I left Olori Adedotu. So, Bumi, you do understand? So when you have a plan, even if it doesn't follow like a ruler, at least there's some organization. Your brain is intact. Bumi, I'm telling you, everything gets dark out
So
here,
you
you
have a
guys.
plan. That's the first thing. You
It
must have
gets
a
dark
plan.
out here. And I don't
What's
mean dark
your plan?
literally. I mean dark mentally in life. It just starts to get dark. Everything starts to become blurry. Then something that looks clear to you, you start asking, what's going on here? Then if you're unfortunate, your husband doesn't understand it too, both of you will start fighting because one person will be thinking, okay, I'm doing menial job so that our life can be, at least we can put food on the table. And then you are here nagging. But the truth is, your nag is valid. Your complaint is very valid. Yeah, it's valid, Bobby. I'm not going to, no, it's true. So don't feel like this is not valid. That's why you need to plan yourself before you leave Lagos. And then also, you both need to prepare your mind for all these fights. Because these fights will come. It's not a matter of our marriage is built on Jesus. Please leave Jesus out of it. I mean, of course, Jesus is in it. But my point is, this thing will happen. We're all human beings. For me, you will be so upset that you cannot explain how you are feeling to your partner. Before you know it, you'll be swelling up, swelling up, swelling up, swelling up, swelling up, till you will just bust one day.
Can you tell us, seriously, can you tell us from your own experience and some of the things that you have, that has happened, you know, to you personally? What would, or let me not say personal, but you can give this objectively. What
For me, I can share. I don't mind sharing what has happened to me. No shame.
What
Bumi,
are some of,
so
I trust you.
I'm going to start from, I'll give you guys from
What are
2011. When I first had Adam in 2011, I was a
Hold
new
on,
mom.
let me ask you this question. What are some of the questions that you think that a couple should have in terms of when we move? I mean, they've not experienced it, but what are some of the things? I mean, I spoke about one on my Insta story. I said housekeeping. Most Nigerian men, you know, Nigeria is a patriarchal society. Nigerian men don't do, right? So what are the conversations that we
this
need
discussion? Jesus is Lord.
Let's start here. What are the discussions that husband and wife they need to have before they leave Nigeria? Because let me tell you why. Let me explain to you why I'm asking this question, guys. I know the answer, but I want to ask you to share from experiential knowledge, right? Because I'll give you an example on Canada. I saw the different exoduses into Canada. There was 2007. There was a 2010. The 2010 one was very, very big. There was a 2011 that was a little bit smaller than 2010. And there was a 2012 massive one. In 2007, I saw a lot of Nigerians in Canada that came, right? And these same people, of course, you go to some churches, you see them, or you go for parties, you hear things about them and stuff. And then 3 years later, these marriages don't exist. And so you live in Nigeria in pursuit of milk and honey for your children,
and then you go and separate.
But because of a lack of information that you're going to give us now, you run into problem, and then you now put your children in a worse off situation, because now mommy and daddy are in a toxic marriage, and they don't have a way forward. So daddy is a doctor. He's saying that he's not going to do gas. And I'm using pump gas as just metaphorical, but doing all these other jobs because of course maybe he has to take exams. He has to take exams just so that he can work, right? So and there are some men, I knew them. There are men that decided that I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Do you know what I was doing in Nigeria? Do you know how much I was making? Right? So they are hit by that. And then the wives now have to take up the responsibility, all the other spouse. I don't want to put it on only men. I want to
and then when you now take the responsibility that belongs to two people,
I can't do this. So
you will not be losing your mind.
Let's have this conversation where now your children are like, they should have just left us in Nigeria because every day they are fighting. what's going on in our home, and in 3 to 4, 5 years, the marriage crashes. I've seen many marriages.
But with 3 to 4,
When I
5
say
years,
many,
no, 3 to 4, 5 years, no,
let's
it's too
have this
far. That's too
conversation.
far. Okay, so you guys, Bumi, I'm just going to say thank you so much, and I really, really bless God for this wisdom. That he dropped this. Me and you will literally plan this thing in 2 minutes. Now, the questions, you guys, please don't forget that there's something called culture that is inside Nigerian men's mind and their head and their, the whole DNA. Before you guys leave this on the expectations about who is doing what, which is why I said, chat me a course of what you want to do for the first 3 to 6 months, because that first 3 to 6 months, you might not even find it, you might not even see a job, you might not even find anything to do. I'm telling you. So imagine sitting down at home with a man that is already cranky. Do you understand? And then you now tell him, oh, I'm tired, I'm physically exhausted, I've been looking after the children, can you help me do the dishes? You will hear all your life history. So the truth is this, Bumi. In the course of chatting what you're going to do in 3 months, Bumi, trust me, all of these questions will start to come up. All of these conversations will start to come up if you are like a detailed person. So you guys sit down and say, so we want to do this for the children. Please, I want somebody to quote me here. Whatever it is you want to do for the children, never forget or neglect yourself. People forget that thing. Everybody keeps saying, oh, we're doing it for the children. Yes, you are. But the truth is, you and your husband need to be in a good place for your children to enjoy this thing that you want to do for them. Because if both of you are on each other's throats every second of the day, your children, children will tell you, Mommy, can we go back to Nigeria? Because we were happy there. So sit down. We are doing this because of the children, majorly. But here are the things that we need to do when we get there. So now there's no help. When I was in Nigeria, I had help. I was, in my personal life as a visionary woman, I was a flyer. Now I'm here, I'm faced with doing the dishes. I'm faced with doing the dishes, cleaning the house, washing, doing this, cooking. And guess what? I still want to do what God brought me here for. I'm not just here to be somebody's mother. I am Toyosi, and I have to manifest. So you have to sit yourself down. These are the things that we need to deal with. Who is going to do the bathroom? Let me tell you, it might seem uncomfortable. It's like, when a man is just toasting you and then you're having all the uncomfortable conversation, what do you want to do? Those questions will come up now because we're going to a place, it's a no man's land. No help, nothing. I had my first son, Bumi. I was the first time mom, there was no help. Unfortunately, at the time, visa office in Lagos was closed. My mom couldn't get her passport on time, so she couldn't come. I was running mad. I had a baby that had colic, that had dry skin. It was winter. I didn't know what to do. I was turning on eating on my son. I didn't know that was making his skin even worse. My husband didn't know what to do. I mean, I'll be crying. He will be upset that why am I crying? Why is this? So you start looking. I started looking crazy. Maybe I don't know. That feeling of your knee, you're spoiled. That's why. No, I'm not spoiled. I'm running mad.
I'm the best person to be a mother.
I even to give birth. Exactly. You will be physically exhausted because you and the children are stuck in the house. So let me give you an example of what people don't plan for. When we left in September and we got here, school had resumed. Bumi, I was stuck in the house with the children for almost 2 months. Children that every single day they were going to school in Nigeria. We moved here and almost 2 months, we were waiting for them to get school placement. In that 2 months, in that 2 months, I had to rein myself in. I called Adam one day, I said, Adam, come. I said it in the video. I said, if you're not careful, you will drift apart from your children because you and them are now like this. There's no auntie taking them away for a moment. There's no nanny this talking to them for a bit. There's no lesson teacher teaching them and just giving you, you see that physical space that you need. Nobody helping you. We started fighting. One day, Holy Spirit just dropped in my heart that Adam is getting withdrawn from me. And I went to meet him. I said, Adam, what's wrong? I was saying that I wanted you to come. You didn't answer. He said, Mommy, these days you're always upset and angry. You're always complaining. Bumi, I literally started crying. Like I was in shock. But we have a good communication thingy going on with us. So it was free to say. He said, I didn't want to come. I wanted to come, but you these days you're always very angry. I don't know why. I started explaining. These are the things that nobody told you. And guess what? In the heat of you worrying about, am I going to go and do care work? Am I going to go and be selling in retail store? Am I going to go and be doing this pending when we pass PLAB, or pending when we pass this exam, or pending when I can go and do nursing? You see, these things will pass you by. You won't know. You would have lost your son. You would have lost him because you are like literally drowning in the situation around you. People don't think about these things. Physical exhaustion is real. Is real. You will do all the work. See, there's no superwoman. You will cook. You will wash plates. You will do this. You will do that. You will arrange it. No help. Oh, no help. You guys in Nigeria, see, you can never ever. There's no way we can talk about the value of domestic support in Nigeria. We can't. My mom came, Bumi, and in 2 days, my mood went from 0 to 1 million just because she took the baby off of me. I could eat. I could breathe. Imagine struggling with latching on. I could have my bath. I could have my bath. So think about all these things. Write it down. Cleaning the house, washing of plates, doing this. And let me tell you, you cannot be doing this over meticulous. My house has to be this. My house has to be that with children in abroad. I'm telling you, you can't. Because the way that you have help in the house, somebody is stationed there to do the cleaning, to do the organization. Do you understand? You are the one doing mommy. You are the one doing teacher. Bumi, I became one teacher. They will come from school. You have to sit down because trust me, 1 week after school will tell you that they are not doing well academically. See, teachers, oh my God, home lesson teachers. If there's anyone here, God will bless you guys. Home lesson teachers. I missed, I can even deal with ourselves. You see, home lesson teachers. See, you will now go to Friday meeting in school. You'll be embarrassed because they're telling you in front of everybody that your children are not doing well. Because you're not following up every single day. I'm not joking, Bumi. Every single day, you have to follow up. If you don't follow up, by Friday, they will tell you they're not doing well. It's almost like there's something in their school that shows that there is that deficiency from home. The mother will now come and be shouting at me that, oh, see, you're not paying attention to the children. Now it's both of us, is our work. Me, I didn't know it to be our work. Oh. Me, I didn't know that it would be our work fully. So these are the things. Write it down. Who is going to wash the bathroom? Who is going to be doing grocery runs? Because when it's so cold and windy, you don't even want to step out. But you guys need food. So it's not a case of, if there are men here, your wife is not disrespecting you by asking you to do the dish. No. She needs help.
She needs help.
She needs help.
Marriage is a partnership. Marriage is a partnership.
Exactly. So you guys need to see all the blurry lines, clear it out before you leave. If you don't clear it out, I am advising strongly, stay in Nigeria where you can afford help. Else, in less than 1 year, that marriage is going to scatter. This is not prophesying bad, because you will continuously be exhausted. You can't be doing bathroom. You can't be washing the children's clothes, ironing. Bumi, I hated ironing with a passion. Hi. But I don't have a choice. On Sunday, we share it. This Sunday, I'm sorting because we have to prepare the clothes for the week so that you don't wake up in the morning and be running out of skater. I will do it for 1 week. You also do it for 1 week. We have to. We have to. And then please, if anybody has mother-in-laws here, mother-in-laws, when you're going to your children's house, your children's homes abroad, don't come there with the mentality of coming to sit down. Don't come and sit down. Don't come and sit down. I'm somebody's child. I'm a human being.
Yes, so somebody's my mother.
I am a human being, because the truth is this. I am already exhausted from looking after your son and your grandchildren. Then you now come and then you now sit down. I'll now be. I'm not saying people should be disrespectful, but we should understand that we're all human beings. I am somebody's child too. And my mother will not watch me to be suffering. If my mother comes to visit me, I am literally praying, God, let me be able to come because I am tired. Then in-laws will now come. I have like mentees here that one of them recently told me that the mom-in-law came and she just gave birth, Bumi. someone that just gave birth, you know, the whole, oh, you have to cook for your mother-in-law. If you come and do omugwo, please do the omugwo. Do it.
Seriously, 1 second. Seriously, 1 second. Somebody is asking that how do the white people cope? You have to understand that
the white people,
the way that Oyibo people's mentality is in terms of partnership and marriage is different. They have
different. Proceed. Whoever asked that question, thank you very much. From the get-go,
it is partnership. You have men
not just that, Bumi.
You have men that change
Bumi,
diapers.
not just that. Let me also say something, Bumi. Please, if you are a mom of boys here, listen to me carefully. We are the ones causing the problem. So also, the way that you train your children is very, very important. Unfortunately, yes, different culture, I agree with you. But listen, I agree with you. But you see this culture thing we're talking about. If you people are thinking of relocation, you better throw that culture thing to one side and face reality. Equip your boys, equip your children to be able to survive in the century that they belong to, Bumi. I'm being honest. Do you understand?
We can't hear you.
Train your children, your boys, so that they can survive in the century where they belong. This culture thing you are talking about, you carry your children from Nigeria, bring them abroad. This nonsense culture is already beginning to, they're already passing it on to them. By the time they get into the age range of their own peer, Bumi, they cannot survive. Being responsible is a survival skill in the generation of our children. It doesn't matter the gender.
Thank you. Preach.
It doesn't matter the gender. Don't raise boys that their wives have to be enduring. I don't want my son's children to be cursing me. I'm telling my children every day. I'm telling my children every day. Listen, you need to understand that first of all, people have rights. You have to respect it. You can't force anything on your brother in my house. You can't force anything on anybody in my house. Bumi, when I am disciplining, I'm explaining why. So that my son doesn't feel like, oh, people who are older are always right. No. Those who are old, explain what they are doing. You can't get away with things in my house without explaining. My 5-year-old will ask you, Mommy, why are you shouting? Mommy, why are you complaining? Asha, I am complaining because this. But do you know what's going to happen? Tomorrow, when Adam wants to do the same thing, Asha will tell him, Adam, don't do it because Mommy said this. So I'm literally training you to train your brother, either young or old. Because if you don't do it, Bumi, let me tell you, we will constantly be tied to these children. You will go out with their shame because your children will go and bring shame upon you. If you teach boys to be entitled, Bumi, rape will continue to be a culture. So if you're a mom of boys here, please, I'm holding you responsible. Don't raise boys that their wives have to endure. Don't do it. Let your son's wife pray for you and say, your mother, God will bless your mother for raising you like this. For raising you like this. So that's where the culture thing comes in. They are growing up in Canada. Do you know if he's going to marry Oyinbo tomorrow?
It's true. So
you're telling me culture. If you are doing culture, he goes to go and marry an Oyinbo girl. Will he leave plate for Oyinbo girl to wash? No, I'm being honest. We all want to jackpot. Everybody wants to run. No, you want to travel now. Are you not thinking your son is going to be in a generation where they are thinking liberal? They are thinking liberal. They are thinking abroad. Then you want to come and telling me culture. We need to first of all die this culture thing. You see culture and ageism, we will come back to it some other day. But with our children, these are the conversations that I have every single day with myself. I'm constantly telling myself, Toyosi, are you raising boys that their wives will pray for you? No. If you are not, then you need to ask yourself, what are you doing? Because you cannot come and be using your own child cannot come and turn another person's daughter into a mad person. Into a mad person. Into a mad person.
Let's talk about it.
Do you understand? So we need to think about all of these things. And that's why when people survive, they all know from the get-go. You cannot eat and live. My mom-in-law, who'd been to her house before, my husband's brother, his girlfriend came to the house. She ate food, washed her plate. My mother-in-law was washing plates. The girl washed her own plate, passed, went to go and sit down. Nobody saw anything wrong with it. Mommy was like, Kini, you know Ibolewa. Do you understand? So we need to begin. See, if you don't discuss this thing with your husband and you guys understand that, see, this culture thing, first of all, are you going to look for culture in Canada? Is it culture that is carrying you to Canada? It's not culture now. So let's switch it from culture to greener pastures and being alive, because we need to be alive. When you first of all think about being alive and succeeding where you're going, you see all this culture clog that we're always putting in our wheel. We will first of all we will throw it away, because you need your sanity to be able to thrive wherever you are going. And if your physical is not willing to change, respect yourself. Your mental health is very, very important. Just, you people should just decide anyway. Okay, not everyone planning to Japa is married. Yes, somebody said culture came about by us finding an identity. When he no longer says.
Let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk a little bit about.
Bumi, one last thing before we continue. Okay. One last thing before we continue. Another thing that we need to talk about is finances.
Yes, I wanted us to go there.
So before you leave Nigeria,
yes,
exactly. Before you leave Nigeria, you have to start looking at it. How much do we even have right now? Of course, you're already scoring the net for information abroad. Okay, what daily living expenses, this one, that one. How can we cut corners instead of buying food from abroad? Is there a way I can be shipping it to myself every month? You know, that works out cheaper for me and all of that. How much do we have as living expenses? What kind of place are we going to live? Imagine living your own house in Nigeria in Lekki Phase 1, and you're moving to Canada. But because you have, you know, you have some cash, but still you have to be very prudent. You guys are not going to end up in a small place, you know. That one said, Bumi, it takes some level of, you know, psychological adjustment to really, for you to be able to cope with it. I know somebody who was living really well in Nigeria. You know, they got here for so long. You know, it was a struggle. But I mean, thank God now they feel, you know, I mean, they're better now. So ask yourself, how much do we have? What are the expenses that we cannot avoid? So rent, food, electricity, this one, that one. Then you now map it out. You map it out and give yourself, if you can afford it, at least prepare for another 1 year, assuming there is no job. Assuming there is no job. Because the truth is, even after you've planned, exactly.
Very important.
Because even after you plan, we don't own anything. Look at the way COVID happened this year. Nobody planned for it. A lot of things that people had planned for is now scattered. So give yourself at least that 1 year net. And then when you come in, be active. Actively, you know, look. Even before you leave Nigeria, start looking for work. Whatever it is, okay, we have 6 months to do this exam. In that 6 months, what can I be doing? What can I be doing? As far as it's putting food on the table, there is no shame. There is no shame in doing. It's in Nigeria that will be saying you can't do this, you can't do this. No, when your life depends on it out here, you will do it. And it's important you prepare your mind for whatever you need to do. If you truly is because you want to give your children the best, because it will require that you take some steps down in lifestyle and, you know, life standards. Except you have loads of money, or maybe you already have a house here and you're not paying rent and all those things. Do you understand? You're not paying all those things. Fine, you can then be doing whatever you want to do. But even then, Bumi, because you want to shorten the time it takes you to be established here, you still want to be prudent because it's a new ground for you.
It is.
It's a new ground for you. You still want to be prudent. Immediately you start earning good money, the first thing you're thinking of is your mortgage, so that at least you're not worrying about paying anybody rent. You understand? So those conversations should come into play. Okay, let's assume you find a job in 1 year. Can we start doing this mortgage thing by 1.5? So that it doesn't put too much pressure on us, because you cannot be struggling doing a manual job and still struggling. I have to pay for this. I have to pay for this. It's too much skinny. So you have to give yourself.
I also want to add with the accommodation thing. Before you leave Nigeria, it's very important that you have a concrete plan as to
where you want to stay.
Where are you going to stay? How long are you going to stay there? Let me explain to you why. Because a lot of people leave Nigeria without a real concrete plan, or asking the person that they're going to stay with, how long?
How long can you accommodate me for?
Because they will embarrass you. They will embarrass you. Whether you're their family or it's my cousin, my auntie, sister's person. Let me explain to you why. when you travel, right? Decide, have a conversation with this person. Oh, my uncle or my auntie or my friend, right? No matter how close you are to a person, you cannot stay in a person's house indefinitely. You have to ask them, how how long do you give me? Do you give me 3 months to stay in your house, right? And in that 3 months, then I start to look for an accommodation for myself. I try to, because when you get there, right, and you're living in somebody's house, they're going to be buying more groceries. Groceries are not
Yeah.
are not cheap.
Yeah,
They're
you're
going
going
to
to
be
be
paying
paying
more
more
electricity,
light bill. Gas
more
is going
water,
to increase.
more
Water is going to
more
increase.
heating if it's in the winter time, right? So if you don't have a concrete plan, people will disgrace you. That's the truth. One day they'll just start behaving funny. They'll start behaving funny. It has
Let me
happened to
also
a lot
mention,
of
don't be
people.
shocked when somebody tells you to leave the house at 2 a.m. with children or in winter.
Like,
They don't
do you know
send
that,
you work.
seriously, when I wrote that thing on my Insta story, so many people were sending me messages. This is why this conversation needed to be had. People were sending me so many messages. The people that are abroad, though, they were like, I wish I knew all of these things that you're saying. I
Before I
wish I knew
left.
this before I left. Because then people have disgraced me. I've lost friendships. I've lost relationships. Because I didn't really understand this. So when somebody now tells you that in 3 months that you need to leave, it's not because they are being bad. It's because they can no longer help you.
Yeah, they
in their
can,
own.
and it's okay,
Understand
and you
that
don't need to explain.
some people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
Some people are living paycheck to paycheck. They have what they're doing with their money, right?
True.
So they've come to accommodate you for that time. Now, when you're going as well, I mean, there's some people, I met some people last year who, amazing girls, like they helped each other. They had just come from Nigeria. One of their friends got an apartment for them. You need a guarantor because you have no line of credit. You have no credit history. You're not going to come from Nigeria and somebody is going to rent you an apartment. It's not going to happen. You're going to need a guarantor to say, I know this person, I put my own credit on the line for them, right? So you're going to need that. You're going to need someone that's going to be able to vouch for you, right? So that needs to be done. And then, for you to get a lease, they're going to have to pay the first, I don't know how it is in the UK, but in Canada, you're going to have to pay the first and the last month. Now, if you don't have a guarantor, they're going to ask you to pay for 1 year upfront. No questions asked. You're going to pay 12 months. So if your apartment costs, and if your apartment costs $1,000, you're going to pay $12,000. You have $10,000 in savings to put straight into your accommodation for 1 year.
Will you not eat?
Right? So you need to think about that as well. So if you don't have a guarantor, you need to think about that. And one thing I know that some people may not agree with is, really, nobody really cares.
Nobody owes you. Yeah. For me, it doesn't matter who doesn't agree. It doesn't matter who doesn't agree. One thing I've come to realize in life is this. See, the truth will always be the truth, irrespective of your feelings. And I'm not going to minimize the truth to make your feelings be better. No, I'm going to speak the truth, because then the question that God's going to ask me is, did you speak your truth? Because the truth is, for me, I've had people say to me that somebody asked them to leave at 2 a.m. with children. She told me, but guess what I did? I did not even start to blame the person. Somebody can tell you to leave now, and they don't need to explain. We need to come off this entitlement mentality. Let me tell you, abroad is a place where that entitlement mentality scale will fall off your eyes like this. We need to come off it. We need to come off it, and you know what? If people help you, appreciate it for however long it lasts. For however long it lasts, because the truth, they don't owe you. They don't owe you. Some people don't even thrive when they are 20 people in their house, and they've accommodated you for 3 months. They've accommodated you for 3 months. That's why when you plan it, even if somebody did not say, I'm giving you only 3 months, give yourself that short period. That's why you need to have a plan before you leave Lagos. Don't go and wing anything anywhere outside of Nigeria. It's only Nigeria you can wing it. You know why? Because no matter how it be, your mother's house is down the road. Mommy, you don't read. Come and help. Mommy, come and help us. Nobody. You cannot go and tell anybody that it's come and help you. So prepare your mind. This person gave us this period. They did not even say period, but let's look at 3 months, and then let's plan for the 3 months. Even after 3 months, you cannot tell them, oh, we're looking at doing this. Because they will now tell you, why? We're not chasing you now. Okay, you're not chasing us, but you have refused to take money from us. Can we start to contribute some things to the, to the bills in the house, pending when we move? Don't go and be ungrateful.
The baby lounge said that, pick up a bill. So I want us to transition into, this is a great point, transition into culture shock. Because a lot of Nigerians, they get shocked by the culture. It's like electric shock through their body. They're like, wow, how do I cope? you know. So how do you cope with culture shock where nobody really cares about you? Like, people will see you, they'll not even greet you. Like your neighbor, your next door neighbor is not going to see you in the morning and be greeting you. That's the truth. If
Exactly.
they are nice, they will say hi. Where I live in a townhouse. I probably maybe only know 2 of my neighbors, and maybe we are like 8 on a row, right? I do not know anybody else. I hardly saw anybody. So how do you deal with that culture shock? Also, how do you deal? I know that there are some great people. I don't want this conversation to seem only negative, and you know, not that it's negative, I mean, but there are some people who help. However, you mostly meet bad belazy. Let's talk about that. And that's the kind of culture shock that you meet, because you meet your countryman and you expect your countryman to help. Why
To be kind to you. To be kind to you, but they are the ones who, some of them are the ones who will go and instigate problem.
Right? So let's talk about that culture shock that you now feel when you come and just like you thinking that, you know, because this person is a Nigerian, this person should help you.
You two, you're not gonna be doing until they do you bad thing. True.
You know?
Okay,
so let's talk about that culture shock and a lack of information, because information is what will help your transition be smooth.
Exactly.
And people know this.
Bumi, that's it. See, the moment somebody does something we've talked about here, you'll be like, it's like, you know, when they shoot you, you'll be like, or there she, and then you keep moving. You'll be like, or there she, and you keep moving. So the truth is this: when you have information, you are equipped. Once you see it, but you know how, you know, life trauma and things and triggers, the moment you see the trigger, you know that this is where it's going, right? By the time you have all this information and you are processing it every day, you also have your mind prepared. When people do stuff, you don't dwell on it to the point that you find it difficult to pick yourself back up. You'll be like, this was the thing that Bumi and Teyosu were talking about that day. You move on from it. Do you understand? I'm not saying that, I mean, we're all human beings, Bumi. You will feel bad if somebody, you know, backbites or betrays you or anything like that. But what you don't want to do is to dwell on it the way we normally do in Nigeria. When people do stuff to you, you now carry it on your head and turn it into Ipekere, you'll be selling it. No, nobody has time for it. You can't even have the time because you are thinking of how you want to go to work the next morning. That your neighbors matter. You've already dealt with it, you moved on. So a lot of things are going to happen that will shock you. If you're somebody that, you know, I'm so sorry, I'm Yoruba, guys, I'm very Yoruba, and this is not, you know, me being tribalistic or anything. But you see this, our antiism, that we like, Yoruba, all Yoruba people. You'll be so shocked. By the time one 17-year-old child will call you by your name, you want to tell the person to call you Antini. You want to tell her to say, I'm cousin Kinikon, or I'm Uncle Kini. Nobody sends you.
Be well.
You see that age thing is going to shock you. If you're somebody who is attached to, you're rude, God, she's so rude. Am I your mate? Let me tell you, please start to tear that notebook now, because you will be shocked. Small children will call you by your name. Children in my son's class, they will call you by your name. That's your name, right? Now also, culture, Bumi, church. I don't go to church because I want to go and do that parapor. Don't have that mentality. Fine, like Bumi said, people will help. Some people have Jesus living inside of them, irrespective of what happens or wherever they are. God bless those kind of people. I am thankful for those kind of people. But see, prepare your mind that nobody holds me. Nobody is supposed to help me, even if it's a relative. Nobody is supposed to put food on my table. I am the one that used my own hand to leave Nigeria. So you better be prepared to face whatever you see. If they help, let it be a positive surprise to you. That way, you know, you can even revel in that surprise for longer because you were not expecting it. Do you understand? You were not expecting it. Now, with, you know, I don't know if you're in school or anything like that, you will see in your class, you'll be the ones that you'll be the ones raising your hand and wanting to answer questions. Everybody will be like, who is this person? Who is this person? All of those things are different out here. The way that, you know, school is, the way that, you know, relationships are handled. People invest in relationships abroad We have to plan it. It's like we are writing, okay, when are you working? We have to meet, okay, even if just 30 minutes. Okay, play date. Okay, we're going, there's a children's center down the road. Let's come and use the opportunity and bring the children. Last week, my friend, before they, you know why, back in lockdown, before we went back in lockdown, my friend told me that she and one of her friends, they haven't seen in about a year. And she was like, wait, my son doesn't know anybody else but your son. Can you please, let's spend, I'm going to pay for one bed and breakfast. Let's bring them. Let them come and stay. I'm not joking. She called me around 3 a.m. They were up till 4 o'clock in the morning. Just allowing the children talk, play. Because it's only you and the children in the house. Your children's social, another thing. You have to be very intentional about building their social skills. You know why? They don't have a lot of interaction like they used to do in Nigeria. They don't have a lot of interaction with people like they used to do in Nigeria. So if you are nursing a baby, the brother may have spoken faster than him, maybe because he had people around in Nigeria, grandma, everybody. Here, it will take them longer to talk. It will take them longer to do a lot of things because there's no example. When they have brothers, fine. But when they don't, these are the things you want to expect. You want to prepare your mind for. Because it's just you and your husband and the child, you have to intentionally carry the child to children's center. When I had that, I was carrying him to children's center to go and just be crawling around with Oyinbo children because I could not just imagine him just being at home. You know, they will get withdrawn. They can't interact. They don't know these skills. So these are the things you want to prepare for. Start looking. As you're in Lagos now, somebody said my video very, very educative. I wrote it there. Start Googling what to do in so place with children. Where children's kiniko in so place where you're going. So you already have notes. I had a note of all the children's centers in my new environment. All the places where there are African meetup. I had a note. I would just go there, even if I don't do anything. Just carry my children there. Let them be seeing human beings that look like us. When we leave, you can be walking around for 2 hours. You will not see a dark-skinned person. You won't see a dark-skinned person. And that's the thing. Because, I mean, even in their school, they start asking you, Mommy, we don't see anybody that's dark-skinned around here. I don't know people like us that live here. So you have to consider all those things. Because if you move to Canada and you're going to live in a place that is maybe like more rural because it's cheaper for you, it's better to raise children there and all of that. These are the little things you also want to put into consideration so that it doesn't affect the growth of your children. Yeah.
Seriously, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
How do you deal with a big part of a lot of, and this happens to a lot of single people, so I want us to move there now. This happens to a lot. How do you deal with loneliness? And how do you deal with the loneliness and the weather? Right? Let me explain why I'm asking this question. When I lived in Canada, I'm going to be totally, truthful. When I lived in Canada, I suffered from something called winter blues. You probably have heard about it before. Maybe
I always have it too.
So what happens is and Canada is very cold, right? So once my birthday is in September, and just after my birthday, when it's nearing the end of September, and in fact, once November comes,
winter is coming.
Comes, we move the clock back by 1 hour.
Backwards.
The clock outside, it's dark, right? So I start getting something called winter blues, where I just basically I'm sad. I'm sad for the entire winter. I cannot shake it off. And forget, I am a tongue-speaking Holy Ghost woman. You guys know I love God, but I wasn't exempted from winter blues.
From
right?
it,
I had to learn how to deal with it. My emotion and the way my body and my mind interacts with the weather, right? So, I mean, at 4 o'clock, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's already dark, right? So it's something that a lot of people are facing. And, how do we deal with that loneliness? Because a lot of people are lonely. A lot of people are lonely.
Okay, that's another thing I mentioned in the video. I said loneliness is something that we hug you hard. Whether you're married or not, you can actually be in the same house with a man and still be lonely. The reason is this. He's engrossed with finding food for you guys. Finding food and ensuring that at least, let it not be that I carry somebody's child from Nigeria to come and suffer here. Right? Now, so relationship life, sex life, all those things will start to fall apart because you guys are not getting it together. Now, as a single person, loneliness. But I had this thing you're talking about. And up until about 2 years ago, before I came back, that was when I was equipped for it. So when it starts, it starts from vitamin D deficiency. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pop my, see, once is winter months, I know, I will carry my vitamin D, I will drink it, right? When I drink it, I'm already adjusting my mindset. From the moment I'm drinking, I'm saying, Kini, you are coming. I take my vitamin D. And then also, months leading to the day itself, beginning, the morning leading to the afternoon of that day also has its own effect on how you're going to feel for the rest of the day. Because it's usually when the outside is dark, you're thinking in your head that time that I could have used to do a lot of things is already dark. It's already like night. So your body is beginning to say night. Meanwhile, you know it's not night. Especially when you look on Instagram, and I'm talking about Instagram a lot, guys, because social media,
yes.
social media, oh my days. Social media has brought its own baggage for us. It's already a lot. Then plus social media, you know, you have to put it, social media is a stakeholder. When you are relocating, it's a big stakeholder. If you can't deal with it, delete the app for the time being when you can regularize and stabilize yourself, right? So I will start to feel sad. I would, you know, just be feeling moody. You know, I'm angry because I feel like my day has been jacked off my hand. And you know what I found out recently is that, Bumi, a lot of visionary people who are very active, who do a lot of things, are the ones who suffer this thing the most. Because we feel like everything is, you know, what we feel like we're losing control. You know, when you, okay, at 4 o'clock, I want to do this and this, then outside is dark. You can't do it. So nature has taken over from you. Then you're struggling in your mind that, so is this how my life is going to be from 4 o'clock? That means the rest of the day is useless. You just be in the house. So I start to adjust my mind from morning. So the thing that I will normally do much later, I'll start to push them till after. So I'll move the things that I want to do between that 4 and Kenya. I'll move it up. And say, okay, this one is more important for me. I will feel this way. I start to ask the week. On Wednesday, this thing is important. If I don't do it before it gets dark, it will make me feel so and so way. But me, I move it up. I move it up, which is where personal development is a thing, is a personal journey. Depending on where you are in your personal journey and self-awareness, you can navigate through these things. So what do? You switch things around. You start to look at the patterns of your life. What is taking me in this direction? What are the things that make me feel this way? Okay, we've ruled out vitamin D deficiency because there's no sun, Abby. Oh yeah, drink vitamin. After you drink vitamin, how do you feel? Do you understand? Now, so how do you then ensure that this thing does not kind of relapse? Every day, you have to make sure that you arrange your activity in such a way that it optimizes your own productivity. So by the time everywhere is dark, you are about to wind down. So that winding down will not make you feel like you're losing control. But when you don't understand yourself, this is another thing I'm just going to share here, that moving abroad, you know, forced me to do. You have to learn to sit and fellowship with yourself. And I don't mean fellowship as in the typical worship. Sitting, a lot of us don't want to sit with ourselves. We fill our lives with things, busy things that does not allow you to introspect. It doesn't allow you to say, why am I even feeling this way? Because you have to process your feelings, Bumi. We can talk about loneliness from now to next year.
No self-awareness.
If you don't process that vacuum, if you don't process it and understand whether it is child abandonment trauma or whatever, which is usually the case. I told somebody some days back, I said, I realized that a lot of people in my age range that are all nearing 40, a lot of us suffered abandonment, but a lot of us haven't still dealt with it, Bumi. A lot of us suffered abandonment, and abandonment doesn't mean that your parents didn't like you. Some of them, they left because they needed to go and bring money. So their space, there was vacuum. Some of them, unfortunately, as a result of marriage breakup, then the father would just say, you know what, I'm not going to be involved in you people's life. So that abandonment is there. So we're not dealing with it. But this I'm talking about to you now, I actually wrote a full thread talking about how sometimes you see people are needy, they are calling for attention. Some of them are not doing it intentionally. Some of them, it is a manifestation of the trauma, of that abandonment trauma, where they now start saying, oh, there's a vacuum. They want it filled. I've been there, guys. I'm telling you personal story. I have been there where I'm feeling, oh, Shemi Odatoni, why have I become so hard to love? Bumi, it's such a bad place. It's such a bad place. So you need to process your heart. Process the thing. You are lonely. Yes, accepted. Bam. How did we get here? What exactly is the problem? I realized that I had that abandonment problem, and we didn't deal with it because what is trauma? Your father will not even, he will just be looking at you like, what's wrong with you? But I had to go back to it. I went back to it and I fixed it. It's not a 1 year, 2 years journey, but we need to fix it because that vacuum will haunt you everywhere you go. And please, you guys, I just want to say
your
something.
Work,
Let's be
your
kind.
Marriage,
Let's be kind.
Your relationship, your friendship.
Exactly.
Everything.
Some of us, Bumi, some of us use marriage to cover that vacuum. It still did not cover. And that's why the marriages are experiencing madness. It still did not cover because that person is not your father. That person is not your mother. That person did not cause the abandonment. That person did not bring the vacuum. They can't feel it. So when you put the job on them and they are not doing it, it becomes problem because your expectations of them is wonky. It's wonky, Bumi. I wrote today, I said, let's be kind. Not everybody you see that seems like he's seeking attention is doing it deliberately. Some people just need help. But you see, Bumi, I would not be this person if I did not embark on this journey by myself because I needed to find, I was just, to everybody else, I was doing so much. People be like, see, I don't even know how you're able to do this. You're such a well of knowledge, but Bumi, I was still feeling inadequate on the inside. There's so much that people are, telling me, see, my God, I wish I could breathe. I'd be like, okay, I don't know. Do you understand? So
yes.
You have to process your loneliness. Know what is causing it because now you've done drink vitamin D. It still no work. It still no work. Do you understand? So we need to understand why are you feeling this way. So that abandonment started playing back with me. The moment I start feeling lonely, I start feeling exhausted. Now I'm attaching situations to that irritation moment. You see that irritation moment? I started realizing that when I'm so tired, maybe I've cooked soup, washed plates, done this, done that. Then I'm so tired. And I'm asking myself, what have you done for yourself? Then I start getting angry because I'm feeling like, so I'm just living my life in this world just to be cooking for you people. Then the self-love will now start, Bumi. The self-love will now start. Then you be, because I didn't post now, you now start feeling like you have to do so much for you to be accepted. Bumi, I was in a place where I would take all kinds of nonsense from people. Some people will do some rubbish. It's when they are gone, I'll be angry. That's what you say, did you really let that pass? Did you really allow that? Why? Because the truth is, you don't even put any kind of value or worth on yourself. And it's not deliberate. It's not deliberate. I said something last week on Twitter. I said, now when person wake up with their money, you can begin to be self-aware at 40. But I'll be 40 in a couple of years. A lot of things, a lot of rema opened up to me. And I'm like, yeah, Jesus, Kilele. I've literally suffered all these things just because of this single thing that I refuse to dig up. You will dig it up, it will hurt you. It will pain you because you have taken decisions. You have taken steps that is currently willing and steering your life in a bad way. Just because you haven't figured out that one thing. But when you figure it out, Bumi, it's almost like when when you play Jega, Jega game, that wooden Jega game. You know how when you pull out some things, once you pull out the problem, everything falls back in place. It falls back in place. So process your hurt. This loneliness, is it because of exhaustion? Is it because your spouse is not helping you? If it's because they are not helping you, have the conversations with them. Have the conversations with them because your children are going to be in that same space and it is toxic. It is toxic. You'll be passing anger because you yourself, you don't even know why you're angry. You don't even know. You can't explain it. But me, I will not go and sit down in my own spare, be like, you don't know. You literally shouted the whole house down. What happened? I'll not finish. I'll not be writing it. I'll not go back to Adam and say, Adam, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to shout like that. I'm really sorry. I didn't process it well. But this is what you did to me. My son will just start crying, Bumi. He will now hug me. Mommy, I'm sorry. Mommy, I didn't know. Mommy, I didn't know that this was going to make you feel that way. But Bumi, it could be what somebody will say to you that will remind you of that vacuum stemming from that abandonment. You will just run mad. You will just run mad. You see some people overreact. Sometimes it is because whatever you are saying to them is opening up wounds that they've not processed or that they've covered up or that they don't want to revisit. Maybe, unfortunately, the person that hurt them or whatever is no longer there to even have that conversations with. So sometimes we also just need to be kind. Whatever is going on in your life, put a pen to paper. Spend time with yourself. See, some people don't want to even be with themselves. But they are watching TV one moment, they are playing game one moment. Some people use all these things. It is because they don't want to face the demon. Bumi, I would rein myself. I would just lock myself. I would go and sit down in the car. Anything they are saying, I'm not hearing. No, I will sit down in the car and just be hearing myself breathe till I rein myself, and then I start asking, tell yourself, the last couple of minutes you've been shouting, can you tell yourself why? I'll write it down, Bumi. I'll come back inside the house and tell them, I realized that I was shouting a couple of minutes ago. This is the reason. Please, I don't want this. I don't want this. This is what you're doing to me that is up, or that is making me feel this way. This is what you said to me that triggered this. But when you yourself, you don't know, how do you demand better?
How do you communicate it?
How do you demand better? How do you even treat yourself well? So, because when you treat yourself well, Bumi, you are telling people how to treat you without talking.
It's true. It's true.
So these days, when people do stuff that I will normally leave them, Bumi, I don't. I will call you in. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Okay, so I wanted us to discuss this. You did this and did this and did this, and this is the effect, and I'm not happy about it. I just thought I'll mention it so that it doesn't continue. Trust me, people who have always trampled upon you, treated you badly, will be offended. They're the ones that will start with, what's in Shako? They're the ones that will start with, this one. No, I'm telling you, because Bumi, because they find it difficult, they're finding it hard to get used to you defending yourself.
They are so used
find it hard.
to the fact that you've allowed them for years to trample
for
on
years.
them.
Bumi, I'm telling you that I have people in my life that we were close for years. Right now, I don't even want to hear their voice. Not from anger, not from any kind of resentment, but from the fact that you literally did this to me for this long. I am still processing my odds. When I'm ready, we can then fix it. But right now, I am processing. And let me tell you, if it takes me 2 years to process it and heal from it, you are not going to determine how long it's going to take me, because you did this to me for this long. And it's not only, rape and all this kind of other abuse that people have to process. There's so much. This little taking advantage of somebody else, just being, being unkind to somebody because you know they love you, because you know they are close to you, because you know they depend on you. There are things we will even talk about another day, Bumi. Those things also, we don't know, but it leaves a lingering trauma on people.
Yes,
it leaves trauma on people. You have mentees, you are not treating them right. They will, you know what you're doing? You are telling them that they don't mean anything, that they are not worthy. That's what you are telling them. And that's why I say to people, when people say, why are you explaining? I told them in church, I said, please don't beat my children without explanation. Don't touch any of my children without explanation. I beat my children, but I explain. The reason is this. I don't want my children to feel that because somebody is older, they are automatically right. No. Because, Bumi, when people are abusing them, they won't tell you. Especially when the person who's abusing them is older. Because the idea is, because mommy always says that, don't disrespect somebody, don't talk back at this person, don't ask questions. They can't ask any question. No. My children will ask you all the questions in this life. You must answer. So they know why you're beating them. And when they know, Bumi, let me tell you the funny part. When they know why they are being beaten, they will go and finish their crying. They will come back. Mommy, so I'm really sorry. I didn't know that was going to happen. You beat me. It really hurt me. But I'm sorry that I did this. Me too. I will talk sorry for beating now. But what's important is the conversation has been had. Bumi, I'm not joking. That situation does not repeat itself. I'm telling you.
So good.
Doesn't.
Seriously, I want us to talk about something before we start to wrap up.
Okay.
I want us to talk about credit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. I remember somebody said it.
Nigeria is a cash society. And so a lot of people don't really understand what credit is. right? So they go abroad, and as soon as you come, they're giving you credit card. You know, they give you a limit of $5,000. And what people need to understand is that abroad is set up. It is like a rat race.
Rat race is set up to cover you inside Pangolo. Yes.
You're on it. You're on it. You're on it. You're on it. Right? And you know, you think that they give you a credit card and they give you $5,000 limits. You go, you buy this, you buy that, you whatever. I want to buy a, or you tell you can buy this TV. You pay $50 now, and you pay $20 off for the next 24 months, right? As a credit society, you can buy a lot of things up front.
On credit, right? A lot of things.
People, they rule because they have no sense of this is what this thing is. You think it's free money.
Somebody said, "Oh my Jesus, King Jed say that made me laugh."
It's true because you think it's pay this money, but this thing is a system. You have to understand the credit system. So can you give us some, you know, what you think when you get abroad and you're thrown this credit card, you go on a lot of people are in a lot of debt, right?
I know.
Of debt. I know, but their means because they want to floss for the gram. They want to.
I know, Bumi, it's even worse now because let me tell you, it's even worse now, Bumi, because they don't even come as the big credit anymore. Now they come as buy now, pay later. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm telling you, I know so many small children in my church, like younger girls, that were talking about it. I said, don't do it. This kind of thing you are talking about, you're gonna spoil your credit because you'll keep buying clothes that you're not going to wear, or you wear it once and throw it in the bin.
And the thing about unfortunately, you don't understand that abroad, your entire life is in that credit.
Yes, now it's tied to it.
That credit, if your credit history is poor,
you can't get anything. You can't get anything. Nobody's
going to get a house. Mortgage. You can't get a car.
You can't get nothing.
You can't get
nothing.
And don't forget that you have to have a lot of money to buy a house up front, to pay in full.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So let me say,
they'll be looking at you. Where do you have money to pay in full?
Okay.
Right.
Bumi, I'm going to say something, and I keep starting off my conversations from our mentality from Nigeria, because I'm assuming that people want to leave. Now, if you are currently in Nigeria and you have that mentality of when you owe somebody money, you be like, if I'm owing you, call. If I've had people say that to me, Bumi. I've had somebody say to me that, hey, I'm owing you. I don't need any history lessons. That mentality is what is going to ground you forever abroad. Now, you come in, because your plate is fresh, right? The first thing they want to put on your plate is to tie you to themselves. Everybody's going to be offering you the best rates, quote and unquote, because they want you to be with them. Because the longer you are with them, the better for them. Because what it means is that the interest is on reducing balance. You continue to pay interest. And if eventually you can't pay, if it's a house, they'll come and take the house or whatever. But guess what, guys? Most people use this credit card for travel. They use it to buy luxury items and all these things that you don't even need, Bumi. Like, I started asking myself that, why do we even buy clothes? We're not going anywhere. All of us, it's only jumper and jeans we're wearing. It's jumper and leggings, and coats. Where are we going?
Jacket.
And jackets. You wear fine clothes, you wear coat on top of it. So the truth is this with credit card. It is a good way to start life if you have your head screwed on your neck. By that, I mean, you understand how it works and you know what you're taking the money for. If they give you, and maybe you brought some cash from Nigeria and you can afford to pay a down payment for mortgage, and then, or depending on your calculation, maybe you feel that, you know, taking the credit works out cheaper for you than using the cash that you have, because the cash that you have can be used for a different business that you will earn interest that will be more than what you're paying on your card. It may be a good point for you to start with it. But if not, no means of repayment, and what if you have your own money to buy whatever it is you want to buy, right? If you like, spend your own money in one day and then be left with nothing. Don't just start by destroying your credit, because if not, you will be abroad for the rest of your life. You will regret it. You'll be able to get a home. You'll be able to get anything. And the same way it is so easy to build your credit, it is in fact easier to destroy it. It's easier to destroy your credit.
Yes, it's easier
Because
to destroy your credits. Very
it's
easy.
easier to
You can
destroy it,
destroy your
Bumi.
credits
It's
like
just a
this.
case of, exactly. It's just a case of, yeah, you default a payment. Do you understand? Okay, let me give you an example. Bumi, so when I was buying in clothes for Desire 1709, that I used to come to the UK like every other month, because I put, of course, I have my own account here. I put a lot of money in the account. And I buy things from the stores. And when I come in, there's a lot of cash. My banks, they came and gave me all the banks that I had, they gave me card. Bumi, for so long, my husband just told me one day that all this card, why are you keeping it? You know what you should be doing? Use the card to buy the item 2 weeks that you're around. Days before you leave, start paying in the cash back, or leave the money in the house account. From Lagos, you can be transferring it to repay, just so that they see the influx of money. Okay, she's spending it and putting back. And you can see where I'm spending the money. It's Primark, it's all these things. I'm buying big. Okay, you go to Primark, spend 4K. Go to this one, spend this one. Bumi, that's what I started doing. By 3 months, one of the banks took me from like 3K to 10K. And I went there and said, I don't need this money. Why are you people increasing it? They said, we see that you're using it. And you're paying back.
Your credit
You're paying back. We don't have a problem with it. All the stores I buy stuff, I have store card that they will put like £2,500. For me, I can be careless and be buying those things and be wearing it.
Of course.
When it's time to pay it back, nothing. When it's time to pay it back, it becomes problem. If you have what you want to do with the money, trust me, if you have a viable business that you need credit to fund, go ahead. That you need credit to fund it. By viable, I mean you've dot all the I's and crossed all the T's. You know that this is the cash flow. Based on cash flow, you can repay this this portion that the bank expects you. Because some banks, depending on the bank, they will allow you a period. Most of my cards, Bumi, up until now, if I use it and I pay up to the period, I don't pay 1 kobo interest. 1 kobo interest, I don't pay. And there are so many ways that you can even make money from that. Let me give you an example. So you have that fund. Somebody wants to buy something. You help them to buy it. If they're paying you a commission or whatever, that's you even making money off of the credit. You have 6 months to pay back without any interest, but you use the money to buy designer shoes, personal shopping clients, and then you go and make 15% commission on the item, money that you did not pay any interest on. Does it not make sense? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So people send me designer items, I buy loads of luxury items for people. For me, when they give me cash, I keep the cash in my hand. I use my credit card to buy the item. I will wait for a month or thereabout. Do you understand? And then pay it back. I have the cash in my hand, but I'm not going to go and use the cash immediately, because that is the part of you building your own credit, which is why I said, if you have a business and you need the money and you know that this thing you will put it back, you can as well use it. But if not, for personal everyday things, frivolous things, maybe buying phone or all those things, you don't need it. See, abroad is a leveler. Nobody's looking at your phone. Me and you will wear jumper. We will wear leggings. Cold is catching both of us. Cold is catching all of us. So you don't want to start off with that kind of problem. Another thing I just want to also mention with money is this, Bumi. I'm a big advocate of, if you have a business in Nigeria, you don't necessarily have to close it. I've been out for 2 years, and Desire 1709 is running. We started in the UK, and we're making sales and doing all these things. She said, until then, we have to pay it back. I won't I can never forget, basically. I can never forget. When the money is there, I'm looking at it, I will even remember. You understand? So if you have a business back in Nigeria, another way that you can build it really is also with this credit card, Bumi. If you have this card, like I said, people send you stuff, you let them buy stuff, you have cash in your hand, use that cash, you have that short period. You have that short period to cushion things for you. Use that money, whether it is to buy things to Lagos, sell it up quickly, make your little change off of it. Before you know what's going on, the money is back to you in pounds, you pay them their money. You and the politicians will be on the bus together. Do you understand? You pay them back their money so that you are not in a financial trap. Because there's nothing more frustrating, Bumi, than not having good credit abroad. I think it is crazy.
It is really
because
bad.
you're not going to be able
really
to.
Bad. Because you're not going to be able to do anything. Chelsea, I can't hear you. Chelsea, is everyone here? It's kind of pause. Chelsea, I can't hear you. Can you guys hear us? But me, I can't hear you. Chelsea, talk. Let me see if I can hear you. Can't hear Chelsea. Chelsea, we can't hear you. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to end this conversation. Chelsea, can you hear me now? Or can you talk? Okay, I'm going to end this, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to wrap up. So Chelsea, let me end this, and then you rejoin. Everybody, please come back. Oh, come back.